There's no Ike. There is Fritz. There is Spike. Jack, how you feeling, brother?
Don't change that radio dial.
No.
Don't worry. Buzz is here as well. So truly a glorious Monday. Glorious Monday.
It is beautiful outside.
Yeah, I think the weather's heating back up.
Yeah,
We had a good little stretch there of it feeling like fall, and that's over.
Yeah. It's going to be hot. Well, we have a big show like we always do. Elliot will join us at 3 o'clock with hopefully an update on Landon Dickerson.
Yeah, can we get an update on Landon Dickerson?
Well, I mean, with just such a great event last night, and for that to happen right at the very end.
Well broadcasted, too.
Oh, I heard you and Elliot did a great job doing that.
High level.
Yeah, real high level.
Yeah.
But the big thing today is that the Phillies actually won the first 2 games of the series and then won the 3rd game of the series.
Yep.
What are we doing? A sweep after winning the first 2 games? It felt different, Jack.
Yeah, listen, they're playing good baseball. They're playing good baseball, and it's hard not to watch them and feel like maybe something's happening here. But I will say something stuck out to me on Saturday, and I wonder and I hope that it's something that changes as we head into the postseason. Team's making the postseason. We're not worried about that.
Well,
98.5% chance according to Baseball Reference.
All right, great.
But in the 8th inning, in what was a 2-run game at that point, the inning starts with Matt Strahm against Corey Seager. With the old Phils, before they got Jhoan Duran, whatever, it makes sense, right? You put Strahm on a lefty, and that's a good way to start the inning. But when the postseason gets here, and you're stuck in a situation where you're facing the heart of the order with the lead, and it happens to be in the 8th inning, I want that to be a Duran spot. I want that to be a spot where Thompson does what he's done for his entire tenure here and put Duran in a high leverage situation rather than just being married to the 9th inning. They escaped on Saturday, and that was great that they won. But in the postseason, in high leverage spots, even if it's not the 9th inning, I want that to be a Duran situation where 2, 3, 4 is up to start in the 8th. Give that to Jhoan Duran.
I was with you when they got him, but I have changed my mind. And I guess it is not surprising that I've become a traditionalist about this.
It was about time, frankly.
Well, there is something about having Duran in the 9th inning. Like, I want him in the 9th inning. There's 2 reasons why I think it's, regardless of who's up in the 8th, regardless of who's up in the 9th, there's 2 reasons when I'm thinking about this, why it makes sense to me to have Duran in the 9th. The first one is, everything else seems to make sense when your closer is your closer. Having the other guys know exactly what their role is, everything just seems to line up. And I know you're talking about Saturday's game and not Sunday's game, but there was, like, the math worked out last night, having Duran in the 9th, right? Or yesterday afternoon. We had Banks, and then we had Strahm, and we had Kerkering, and then we got to Duran in the 9th. And everybody seems like they know their role that way. And by the way, we've talked with LA about that before, about players knowing how they're going to be used, especially relievers. There is a benefit to that, especially in high leverage situations, especially in the playoffs. But the other thing that I feel is that when Duran is there in the 9th, it creates this sense of doom and panic for the other team. Like, I now have this sense of confidence in the 9th inning that I don't think I've ever had. By the way, even including Lidge in 2008, I don't think I've
there
ever...
were some heart attacks in there.
Yeah, like, I don't think I've ever been as confident in the 9th inning as I am right now. And I think the other team feels that. There is this, like, I bet what it causes is when you know you have Duran in the 9th and we have relievers in 7th and the 8th, that they are pressing, thinking we got to score runs now because we know we're not going to score on Duran in the 9th. So, like, I hear what you're saying, that you want your best pitcher at the most high leverage situation, but I think having that pitcher in that spot makes everything else fall into place. And I didn't think I would think that way until I watched it, but I know if I feel confident in Duran in the 9th, the way that I feel confident in the 9th, I know that the other team and the other team's fan base is worried about Duran in the 9th, and I want that to stay there.
Yeah, but you know what I'm confident in as well? Like, I think Kerkering can get the job done. Like, and which makes more sense? Duran in the 8th against the heart of the order, and then you give the bottom of the order to a Ryan Kerkering or Matt Strahm. And Strahm is a total question mark at this point. Again, the Seager home run happened. There was another one yesterday that he just missed. Seager just missed it. I would hate for them to give away a game in the postseason because they're so married to this. Duran can do it.
We gave away games in the postseason last year not being married to it with the relievers.
But he's the best reliever. Like, in that Mets game, it's a 1-0 lead in the 8th, and the heart of the order's up, and that's Duran in that spot. That game's over, and you win game 1. This guy is unbelievable. He's great. He does not have to pitch the 9th inning. You have to do the best thing for your team. And the best thing for the team is to him get the highest leverage outs, and that is still sometimes in the 8th inning.
215-592-9494. Do you think Duran should just get the 9th, or come the playoffs, do you think they should use him in the 8th if that happens to be a more high leverage situation? I think the thing that you're missing here, though, is that like the 9th is, regardless who is up, the most high leverage situation. I know that there are you are framing it because there are better batters up in the 7th or 8th. That might be a more high leverage situation. I disagree. I think the 9th inning is the highest leverage situation, no matter who's up. Like, I don't think just because the 6, 7, 8 hitters are up in the 9th that makes the 9th a less high leverage situation. And to be honest with you, even if Duran gets us through the 8th, I will feel like I'm having a heart attack with Strahm or Kerkering in the 9th in a playoff game. I want our lockdown guy in that spot. We have spent too long trying to redefine what baseball is. There are some things that just work with baseball, and this whole thing where you mix and match relievers. If you have a guy that is as quality as Duran is, who comes in as the closer, that whole thing just works there. Some of the new baseball stuff I like. I like the best hitters hitting higher up in the order.
That is a big adjustment.
I like that sort of stuff. But some of the stuff that worked in baseball for years and years and years, like starting pitchers going longer into the game, like the closer pitching the 9th, like the setup guys being on in the 7th and the 8th, I think that stuff just works, and I think it works in a way that is difficult to explain from a number standpoint.
Yeah, I think you're being a smidge Neanderthalistic with this. I do. I think you're being a little.
You're the worst. I'm being Neanderthalistic.
Is that a word? You're being like a Neanderthal a little bit with this, because you want to know what I want to make sure happens in the 9th?
What?
I want to make sure we still have the lead. I want to make sure we still have the lead in the 9th, and I'll take my chances on Kerkering. Strahm is not part of this argument. Like, Strahm is 100% a question mark, but I think Kerkering...
By the way, I was right about that too.
He's calling down. He'll be fine in the postseason when we shut him down when Alvarado's back.
Can I just send a little message out to Matt Strahm right now?
I thought you were sending a message to me.
No, just a quick message to Matt Strahm. Like, I'm glad that you're trying to help Bryce Harper get all of his best baseball cards, but like, maybe save it for the offseason. Like
it's a long season. Spike.
No,
these guys got to keep their
just like save it for the offseason. Matt Strom's tweeting the other day that Bryce Harper, he's trying to get Bryce Harper into trading cards, and Bryce Harper will trade some of his used equipment for some of his best trading cards. Like, first of all, you're not 10. You're like 30 years old.
Well, weren't you tweeting about cards this weekend?
Yes, that they are a scam, by the way. New cards are a scam.
I know nothing about scams.
And just, anyway, I'm sorry. It's just like I saw it and I was like, dude, could you get your velocity up before you are tweeting about getting Bryce Harper's baseball cards?
I guess my thing is, though, I want to make sure we get to the 9th with the lead still. And I'll take my chances on Kerkering still coming in and getting the job done. In a perfect world, I want Duran the 9th. I am as the problem is, like, Duran has been so long in my, like, it's been around.
Duran, though.
It's Duran, I know, but when you're cooking, sometimes you misuse the words.
Yeah.
Him in the 9th is fun. It feels like Saquon. Like, it feels like watching Saquon the first couple times, watching him as an Eagle. The intro is great. I cannot wait for it in October.
And you want to ruin it.
I want it in the 8th if it is the heart of the order up, because I want to make sure I can still get to the 9th.
All right, 215-592-9494. Do you just give Duran the 9th, or in a high leverage situation in the playoffs, let's say, would you put him in the 8th? Quick question before do you still use the intro if he's on in the 8th?
Yeah, so they made one for Kimbrel, and they used it after he blew both games 3 and 4.
Okay.
And it was like a tie game. He came in like the 6th inning. So I think they would use it in the 8th. I would not use it.
I would not
I think
use
it's
it in the
strictly
eighth.
a ninth inning thing, but I
Yes.
think they would use it.
And for next question today, we do have another spot. How many spots do we have left in the Afternoon Show
3.
Fantasy Football League? So we have 3 more spots to give away in the WIP Afternoon Show Football League. For next question today, you call with your sports point. But if you want to be in the league, you have to convince us why. That's basically been it. And by the way, there's been all sorts of ways to do that. There's been the talk trash to us way.
Yeah.
There's been the I'm a fun guy way. If I could give you a little hint, the boy, I'm so good at fantasy football way, don't care.
Don't care.
Don't care. Don't need more good players in the fantasy football
You've
league.
ran a league since the 90s before
Yes.
there was the use of computers.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, congratulations.
No way. You're the man.
Yeah.
We found the man. So
One guy called last week bragged he'd been playing since 2022. It's like, wow, you were super late on fantasy, and that's your
frankly,
flex?
fantasy football's been dead since gambling was able to become legalized.
Or even legal, even daily fantasy or whatever, weekly fantasy.
Yeah. So it's good. 22 is way too long. So just be entertaining. Guy got in on Friday by ripping me.
Yeah.
Now, that was not my call.
Have a little fun.
Yeah, have a little fun.